Hello and welcome to Is It Pure PlanetSide 2. This is the most detailed review of the game you will find anywhere. I absolutely guarantee that. So what exactly is PlanetSide 2? Well, PlanetSide 2 is an MMOFPS on an absolutely massive scale. We are talking thousands of players fighting together and against each other. You cannot find this anywhere else online. Now, as the name will suggest, there was a PlanetSide 1. Now, the problem with PlanetSide 1, it was kind of restricted by early 2000s internet technology, so it couldn't really support the thousands of players the developers originally wanted to support. However, a decade on almost, we have PlanetSide 2, and the internet has got quite a bit better. Most people have got broadband connections, people's computers are faster. Game design's got a hell of a lot better. There's been loads of advancements, and PlanetSide 2 really benefits from that. This really is what I believe the developers envisioned PlanetSide 1 should have been. Okay, so in PlanetSide 2 there are three empires to choose from. So you've got the Terran Republic. Now these guys are commonly referred to in game as TR. They are the space dictatorship. It's their way or the highway. They're obsessed with law and order. They want control of Araxis, and if you're going to stand in the way, they're going to kill you, and that's basically it. As you can imagine, I play TR, and it's basically for those reasons. I want to be a space dictator. That's it. I'm not ashamed to admit it. As far as the weapons go, they tend to focus more on fast weapons. So you've got things like chain guns, miniguns, like they like a heavy rate of fire and stuff like that. So if that's the sort of thing you're into, then play TR by all means. Next up, we've got the New Conglomerate. Now, these guys are commonly referred to as NC in-game. Now, these are your freedom fighters, your rebels. If you're a TR player, you would consider the NC to be terrorists, basically, because they try and undermine everything that the TR does. This is no good. Now, they tend to focus more on heavy hitting weaponry, so reduced rate of fire, but more damage per hit. Now, unlike the Terran Republic, they're not structured like a military. They're more of like a company, a business. That's how they operate. They've been formed by various industry leaders and people like that who really don't like the TR and want to get rid of the TR, and this is their way of doing that. So if you're a rebel, then play New Conglomerate. And finally, we've got the Vanu Sovereignty, or VS. Now these guys are obsessed with alien technology. In fact, they believe that the next stage in human evolution will come from integrating alien technology into our culture. Now, if this is the sort of thing you like, then I suggest you play VS. However, they have some quite major differences when you compare them to the other two factions. So they, as you can imagine, because they're obsessed with alien technology, they have lasers. If you want laser guns and plasma guns and all that mad stuff, play VS. That is basically what they're completely kitted out with. They are crazy. They couldn't really care, as to what's going on the Araxis. All they really want to do is take control of the planet to dig up alien artifacts. If you want to be an alien Indiana Jones, then play VS. Good lord. The fight for PlanetSide 2 takes place on the planet Araxis, which is currently broken into 3 different continents. Each continent is totally different to the next continent, so this adds variety to gameplay. We've got Indar. Now, Indar is a desert wasteland map. It's kind of like the surface of Mars. That's the sort of feel I get from it. It does have some woodland areas, but on the whole, it's a desert wasteland. Ezomir, in complete contrast, is a snow wasteland. So this is kind of like fighting in the Arctic or the Antarctic. Loads of snow, very cold, large open spaces. Amarish is a volcanic landscape. Now, there are a lot of volcanic mountains and crags and canyons, but also it's covered in a lush jungle. So there's loads of cover on Amarish. Each continent's map is totally different to the previous one. So there is always variety, and going on to the future, I'm sure they will add additional continents to the game. PlanetSide 2 is completely free to play. This means you can go straight to the website, or you can get the game off Steam and you can install it and you can play it. And that's it. You don't need to spend any money on the game, and you could get full enjoyment from that. But it's going to take some time. Now this is obviously where the free to play element comes in, because they need to monetize this somehow. You can't just have a totally free game. They'd never make any money. That would be madness. So the way they do this is through Station Cash, which is Sony's riot points, if you will. It's their imaginary currency. It's the SMED books, whatever you want to call it. So the way these work are, you can buy station cash, and you can spend them on certain items. So this is an example of the infantry weapons. So we've got the rocket launch. You can see it costs 700 station cash to unlock, or 1,000 cert points. You can also trial the weapon as well. So if you're not sure, if you want to give the weapon a test before you spend the station cash, then you can do that, which is great. Or you can spend certs on it. Now, certs take a long time to gain. 1,000 certs, take it from me, would take some time to get. Obviously, alternatively, you could just spend money and unlock the weapon. Now, the other way they make money off the station cash is by offering customization options. Now, these are for infantry and vehicles. So I'm showing you some infantry examples here at the moment. So that was the skull mask for the heavy assault. And you can see that there's loads of camouflage and things like that. Stuff to distinguish your character from the masses. Now, none of this stuff is game altering. This doesn't give you any advantage. You know, this just makes you look different. And that's the way free-to-play should be done. At no point should it be pay to win. And I must stress, at the moment, it is not pay to win. And hopefully this is how it continues. Because if it does become pay to win, that is really, really bad. Now, you will notice here, this is the vehicle weapon. So this is an item that's on sale. It's 50% off. So it's reduced cost of station cash to 250 down from 500. Now, you might be saying, well, Stylosa, if I buy the weapons, then surely I've got an unfair advantage because I've bought a better weapon. Not necessarily. The weapons are not really upgrades. They're more of a side grade. But then the weapons can be increased via certs. So what you would have to do is play the game to get certs anyway. You can't upgrade things with station cash. You can only buy new weapons. Now, these are boosts. So boosts are ways for increasing your experience gain, ways for increasing your resource gain and things like that. And they can only be bought with station cash. Now, this is PlanetSide 2 Premium. This is a monthly subscription. This is where the game doesn't... I mean, if you pick up Premium, it's no longer a free-to-play game anymore because you're paying an MMO monthly subscription. Now, if you look at the prices, these are very much the same as the prices of something like, let's say, World of Warcraft. In fact, they're the same, I believe. $8.99 in the UK, English pounds, is the same price as World of Warcraft. You do get benefits for this. So what you get is you get increased cert point gain, passive, because you passively do generate cert points over time. Your resource gain is increased. Your experience gain is increased. And the percentage at which it's increases again on top of itself the longer you stay active as a premium member. You also get 500 station cash every month, which you could spend on, things like camouflage or stuff like that. You get early access to select cosmetic items. Now, this is essentially, a new mask comes out. Premium guys can get it a few weeks before normal players. So again, that's another incentive for people to become premium, to get early access. You also get login queue priority. Now, at times, the game can take ages to log into. Before I became a premium member, you could be looking at an hour plus if you want to get on at premium time, peak gameplay times in the evening. It was basically suicidal. But with premium, the queues are non-existent because you've got your own special login server. Now, I understand why they've done that, and I can't really hate on that all too much. If anything, I'd say that probably is the main benefit of premium. So just to show you the premium early access store, you can see that there's some different varieties of skull helmets, and there's some bits of stuff you can attach to your aircraft. They'll obviously expand on this because the cosmetic stuff is how they're going to make their money. These are the infantry classes. So this is the infiltrator. This is your sniper. He can go invisible, but he can also capture enemy terminals in bases. So it means he can run into a base, he can capture the terminal, and then this means your Empire can use it, which is absolutely invaluable when you're attacking bases. This is the light assault. Now, the light assault has a jetpack. This means he can fly. So he's absolutely great at getting over defensive lines, jumping over walls and assaulting bases. He's lightly armoured, and his weapons are not exactly the best in terms of damage, but he's very, very mobile, and that is the main thing with the light assault, mobility. This is the combat medic. Now, the combat medic, as the name suggests, brings people back from the dead. He also heals damage. He's got a medic gun where he can heal. He can unlock things like grenades, which heal people and bring people back from the dead and all things like that. He's basically a healer. Now, this is the engineer. So the engineer is the guy who repairs the vehicles. He also supplies ammunition, and he has a deployable turret, which is fairly good in certain situations. But the main use of the engineer is to supply ammunition and repair vehicles. The heavy assault. This is your frontline infantry. He can use a form of nanite shield over himself so he can take more damage. He's got the heaviest infantry weapons. He's got rocket launchers, big guns, loads of armour. That's your frontline infantry. Now, this guy, this is the max. This is, if you think of Warhammer 40k, think of a Space Marine. That's what this is. It's like a suit of power armour. Now, you can attach certain weapons to this, and the max is not the most mobile, but very, very powerful weaponry. You can take a lot of punishment. The max you can see on the screen has got an anti-infantry minigun attached to his arm and the Burster AA flat cannon. So let's have a look at the certs, because whatever class you're playing, you can tune the class to how you want to play via certs. So you gain certs over time. You gain certs for completing objectives. Basically playing the game. So what I'm showing you here is the universal utility slot. So that's things like your health, regen and stuff like that. You get the engineer tool. Now this is specific to the engineer. This is the thing that repairs the vehicles. So you can spend certs in that to make it more efficient. The engineer's ability slot, so you can make his ammunition package last longer. So you can see where this is going. You can't actually buy certs at the moment. So to a point, this is kind of the same for everybody, although you do get increased cert gains if you're a premium member. So it's not totally equal, but it's not really that different. So, I mean, again, look into things like, look at all the different suit slots we can have. We can have flak armor, we could have extra grenade, we could have the nanoweave armor, which you can see I've started to put points into. We could have added an advanced shield capacity to make our shields better, but I thought, you know what, I'll go for added armor instead of shields. Now, okay, sure, you could unlock all of this stuff, but that is going to take a hell of a lot of time. And, you know, I think the way that certs are done at the moment is, I quite like the way it's done, because it gives you a reason to play the game. You know, this is why you're fighting other empires, to make your characters better. And of course, each character class and every vehicle has got its own certs, so there are absolutely loads. I mean, as you can see, as I'm flipping through the certs for the engineer, there's just loads. I mean, there's certs for weapons. Look at all the different sights you can get, attachments to the rail, and that's only for one weapon. Look how many different weapons there are. You know, I've only unlocked 4 weapons. I mean, you get given a certain amount to begin with anyway. I mean, you get given a pistol and an assault rifle, like so. But you can see how detailed this is, and sure, there probably will be more optimum cert builds, but for the most part, generally, spend points in certs and the classes you're playing. That makes sense to you. Now, looking at the vehicles, we have, this is the Flash. So the Flash is like the quad. It's the thing you get on when you need to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. It's got no armor. It's just a fast single transport for one guy. This is the Sunderer. This is the most crucial vehicle in the game, really. Now, I have attached to it the Sunderer Advanced Mobile Spawn Station. Now, this allows it to spawn infantry, so you can use it to assault bases and set up mobile spawn points. It's your land troop transport, but also a spawn point. It's essential to any major attack. This is the Lightning Tank. This is the fast attack tank. Now, you can equip this with various turrets. Also, you can equip it with an anti-air Skyguard flak cannon. Well, it's almost like a flak cannon. It's like a rapid-fire machine gun. Very efficient at killing aircraft. This is the Prowler, the main battle tank. Each faction has a specific main battle tank, and I'll show you that shortly. But these are the land vehicles that can deal the most punishment and can take the most punishment. Just looking at the certs as well quickly for the Prowler. Each main battle tank has a special ability, so the Prowler can anchor itself. This means it increases its fire rate, and each main battle tank has its own specific ability. This is the Mag Rider for the VS. Now, this doesn't have wheels. It floats and glides around because it's using some freaky alien technology. This means it's very manoeuvrable, but as you can see, the main cannon is fixed into the chassis. It means it's kind of difficult to do sort of drive-by attacks. The turret is not independent. But for that downside, it gains overall manoeuvrability and speed anyway compared to the other tanks. So this is the NC Vanguard tank. As you can tell, it looks like it's been ripped straight from Command & Conquer. This is one hell of a tank. In fact, this is my favourite tank. It looks awesome. So these are the aircraft you'll find in PlanetSide 2. This is the Mosquito. It's the ESF, or Empire-Specific Fighter, for the Terran Republic. You can see I've got quite a lot of unlocks on it. I do like my Mosquito. It's nice, it's agile, and it's overall nice bit of kit. This is a Liberator. Now, the Liberator is the gunship. This is the thing which can take quite a lot of punishment, but it hands out loads and loads and loads of damage. These hovering above bases, they are animals. They just wreck everything. This is the Scythe. Now, this is the Empire-specific fighter for the Vanu sovereignty. So, it looks like an alien spacecraft. It uses all kinds of freakish hover technology. It's alien, the Vanu. Well, they like aliens, so it also looks quite nice as well, if you ask me. Now, the Reaver, the most ugliest looking aircraft I've seen in the game. This is the NC's fighter, or ESF. it's got increased afterburner duration when compared to the other fighters. Now, onto the Galaxy. This thing is synonymous with PlanetSide 2. This is the big aerial assault craft. You can fit an entire squad in this. You can drop out of the Galaxy. It's called a hot drop, and you take no damage when you hit the floor. Great for like paratrooper attacks on bases. Okay, soldiers, hopefully you're still with me. Let me try and explain the metagame, or, you know, what's the point of playing PlanetSide? How do you actually win? And I use the term win quite loosely because there never will be a winner, because it's an endless war that never stops. But who can be the most dominant, let's say? So in this map, this is Ezimir. You can see the TR is quite dominant. In fact, it's pushed both other factions right back to their warp gates. So Red Land is controlled by the TR. Purple Land, which is just the warp gate, is controlled by the VS, and Blue Land, again, is just a warp gate for the NC. Now, the warp gates can never be captured. They will always be your faction's colour. You can't go anywhere near the warp gates. You will get killed. You know, you're out of bounds, essentially. And they've also got massive shields over them, so you can't fire into them and kill people as they're spawning. Because that, let's face it, would be bloody bullshit. So I think what we'll do is we'll jump to a map that's got a bit more going on. Yes, this is good. So Indar, this is a good example. Now, you've got the red, you've got the purple, and you've got the blue. However, some hexes are different colours. So why is this a dark blue colour? Well, this is a region that's controlled by the NC, but is not connected to their warp gate. So they don't own any land or any bases or hexes connecting to this land. So it's completely cut off. This means that while they still own the land, they don't actually get any benefit from the land. Now, you can see like there's a gun icon there, 30. There's a gun icon there too. There's a tank icon there too. What these mean, and there's an aircraft icon there, although that's in Terran Republic controlled land, which again is not connected to our actual land, so we're getting no benefit from that. Through controlling bases and hexes and groups of hexes, you get resources which add to your total resource pool there. You can see you've got aerospace, you've got mechanized, and you've got infantry. Now, you need these points to spawn tanks, aircraft, max units, and grenades, and stuff like that. This is what keeps your war machine going. This is why you're fighting over land, because if you lose all the land, as in the case of no, sorry, it was Ezimir, was it? In the case of Ezimir, the TR is in such a dominant position because it controls most of the map. Whereas the other factions, they're getting battered, and that's quite bad. So we'll go back to Indar, and kind of what I'll do is I'll explain the way you attack, the way you go on an attack mission, so to speak. So if we're TR, we want to take some land, but we're not going to fly over to Indar Comare and attempt to capture that, because there is no point. There are no connecting hexes from the TR side, so there's no red hexes. That means even if we do launch an attack there, we can never capture it because we don't have any influence. And influence is the big thing. So if we look at, let's say, let's go for seabed listening post. So you can see off the influence indicator, the pie chart, which is popped up under region, we've got 27% influence. Now that's a result of these hexes here. So we've kind of got 3 hexes connected. Yet the Vanu have got 73% influence. That's because they've got loads of hexes there. Now this means if we want to attack this, it's going to take us a fairly long time to capture it, but we can still capture it because it's connected to our empire. And as soon as we capture that, we will get the 2 aerospace resources added to our total empire resource pool, which is what we want. And that's the point of attacking bases. Now, the other thing on the map that you've probably noticed are these deploy icons all over the map. It's like, what the hell are these? Well, if you click on a deploy icon, so let's say we're going to go to Galaxy Solar Plant, this will put us into a drop pod, and we will drop from space. And I think I'll show you this because it looks crazy. So we're about to drop instant action style straight into the fight. This is great for people who don't actually want to mess around looking at the map. Where are the fights? There are big buttons you can press, deploy, get straight into the fight. So we're going to drop down into the fight now at the... Okay, so here we come. We're dropping from the sky. Kind of didn't load in the drop pod. So, there we go. There's the drop pod landing. It looks like we're kind of winning here, considering the mosquitoes have landed. There we go. So we drop, we land, we're straight into a fight. Although it looks like this fight's kind of over. And, yeah, we're winning. That's fine. I mean, you can see on the left-hand side of the screen where it says Galaxy Solar Plant. You can see the red TR bar is starting to go up. That means we are capturing the base, and as soon as that goes to full, we capture the base, and I'll show you that. So we're all waiting around the point. You can see at the top of the screen It says Galaxy Solar Plan A, 5 of 6. That means there was only 5 of 6 potential people by the point who were helping capture the base. Now there's 6, so it's going to capture at the maximum speed. So we're about to capture this base, and huzzah, we've captured the base. Now if we look at the map, Galaxy Solar Plant has turned red. We now own this. We now get 2 mechanized vehicle points. There's also other bonuses to bases, which you know, you can spawn vehicles at certain bases. You can change your infantry loadout and stuff like that. This base, looking at the mini-map, has got 2 gun icons, which means it can spawn... well, you can re-equip your infantry character, or you can spawn a Sunderer or Flash. So it's quite a good base for launching an attack. That's a tank that nearly run me over. Quite a good base, let's say, for launching an attack now into the Palisade, which is what I would expect we would do. And you can see that we're already capturing that. We've got a lot of influence because we've got loads of connected hexes, and we've got forces there, and you can see the bar is starting to go to full, and that is shortly going to change to red. So we'll see that in real time on the map. There we go, red. So now we own that, which is good, and you can see our land starting to expand. The only other things I can... Actually, I'll show you the main bases as well on the map. So you get the AMP station. These look really nice on the most part, AMP stations do. They have like nice battlements and things, like really good fights go on at AMP stations. Now, if you control the AMP station, you get turret heat reduction. This means that your base defense turrets can fire for longer before they overheat. It's kind of a meh, it's not really the best thing, but at the end of the day, any upgrade is still an upgrade. It's still an advantage over an enemy empire. This is a biolab. Now, biolabs, they give you health regeneration, so infantry will naturally regenerate health. It's, again, not the best, but, you know, it's still a benefit. It's still something that's going to give you an advantage over an enemy empire. And finally, we have, where are you, tech plants? Here we go, yo, tech plant. You control a tech plant, you can spawn main battle tanks outside of your walk gate. Now, this is arguably the best advantage of any major base. This means that any base on the map which has got a tank icon, which allows you to spawn lightning tanks, you can spawn the main battle tank for your empire. This is, it's so much better than the other bonuses. I just cannot describe it. It's something where, you know, you always want to control a tech plant. Now, if we look... I think I've just died. Yeah, oh dear. If we look at the map, we don't actually... Oh no, we do own a tech plant, sorry. So, we do have main battle tank acquisition, which is good. When you conquer a map, you get certain bonuses as well. So, if we look at the top, Indar was last conquered by the Vanu sovereignty. This means they've got 10% off infantry purchases, which is quite good. And in fact, let me just deploy, because the music's doing my head in. Deploy, deploy. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, okay. So the Indar's been conquered by Vanu. It looks like Vanu have conquered Amerish as well, which is quite bad. Or they were the last to conquer it. This means they've got 10% off aerospace purchases. So airplanes cost 10% less to purchase. And Ezemir was conquered by the Terran Republic, and we get 10% off mechanized purchases, which is, you know, they're minor bonuses, but they're still something to strive for. I'm not too sure whether, you know, a conquering empire should get bonuses, because that's kind of making an empire which is already sort of in a commanding position even better, but that's for another day and another discussion altogether. So I think that pretty much sums up the metagame. It's complicated, you know, it's not simple, but after a bit you will get used to it, and it's... I don't know, I on the whole, I do quite like it in its current state. In the beta, it did actually change a few times, but currently, it's not too bad. I still would like it, though, if we could go on, you know, missions into enemy territory. Let's say if we could do a drop on Cobalt Communications there and capture that, or be able to capture it, then, so other, you know, armies in the Empire can then link us up. But as it currently stands, there was no way you can capture that, because we have no influence at all. 100% enemy influence. So hopefully that explains the metagame. Let's talk about the gameplay then. So there are 2 different types of ways you can play PlanetSide 2. You can play it on your own, or you can play it with a group of players. Now, let's go into detail on playing it as a solo player, as the Lone Ranger style of gameplay. Now, the game is not designed for this. The game is designed for massive amounts of players working together to capture objectives. So if you want a game where you can turn up and say, go behind enemy lines, capture a base, you know, have that type of impact, in PlanetSide 2's current state, you cannot do that. It's completely impossible. You will also never find yourself in a situation where you are on your own. You will never be on your own fighting the enemy. That will never happen, because you will always be with your army or with people from your faction. There's people all over the map. So let me give this as an example. I play PlanetSide 2 both in an outfit, but I also play it on my own every now and again. But I'm not playing on my own in the sense of the word. I'm just an independent in a team fight. That's what basically playing solo in PlanetSide 2 is. So I'd load up the map, I'd use the instant action, I'd drop down into a fight, and I'd play for maybe 30 minutes or an hour, however long I've got, and then I'd leave. Now, I'm not on my own, I'm with loads of people around me, we're engaged in a big firefight. You can also extend this to when you're actually involved in a platoon or a squad, but it's not organised. So you're just grouped with your friends, you're just doing whatever, you're not in team speak, you're not conducting an organised operation, which you can kind of compare to a raid, let's say in something like World of Warcraft, like an organised team thing. You're just taking part in a firefight that's happening at a base. And that's fine, you know, that you can drop in and drop out like that, and I like that. But I must stress, you cannot play this game as the Lone Ranger. You can't run around like Johnny Rambo on your own attacking a base and capture the base. It's impossible. You need overwhelming numbers, and almost everywhere you go on the map where there is a fight, there'll be loads of people anyway, so you'll never ever really be on your own. And if that's something you don't like, then I would probably recommend you do not get PlanetSide 2, because it is focused on large scale combat. So, talking of large-scale combat, where does PlanetSide 2 shine? Well, PlanetSide 2 is massive. That's where it shines. And if you join an outfit, which is a large outfit, which can put together a platoon, we're talking, you know, multiple platoons, hundreds of players, God knows what. I mean, there are big outfits in the game. People like the Enclave, Devil, 666 Dogs, and people like that. They, you know, they field hundreds of players, and it's quite the sight. I think the Enclave actually live stream, so you can see that. But what I want to do is I want to cut live to our outfit operations. Now, this is a four-squad platoon, I believe. But this shows you just how crazy the game is. And this will highlight the game better than anything I can say, because this is an actual in-game example. So here we go. This is live unit lost outfit operation. And by the way, warning, there is some pretty tasty language, because this is, again, taken live.
Mr. Thunder out.
You've been warned.
Not yet.
How about now?
Now it is.
Get the galaxy.
Generator prepared.
Hit it with missiles, yeah.
Galaxy coming in.
Oh, yeah. Full of a load of clowns.
Not very fun when you see it explode right in front.
Wait for
right in
Pixel?
front of your face.
Wait, we still got space.
Right.
Alright, that'll do.
Numpty, there are loads of tanks in that inside that
That's
base.
good.
Just absolutely strafe them.
You think my flying's bad?
Okay, just reloading.
Don't get on your head
Please
now.
don't tip over, please don't tip over.
I'll be spending all my certs
keep
on
going
ammo
down.
for this thing, I think, Numpty.
I think I'm going to get more ammo for the air to wear, because they're just awesome.
Put on your helmets, lads.
Although there's only 12 models, you can get 10.
Yarge.
They are OP.
That's a tree.
though.
That's a
Swear.
tree.
That's a guy. That's a...
Numpty, I've got one here going in south direction.
Deploying, so hop out.
He's turning back in on
Yeah.
himself.
Getting some rockets in.
I'm putting rounds in.
That's Sunder. Hello, you fucker!
Oh.
Special. Special.
To the south-west of the base deployed. Easy target.
Following the gas.
Oh, there's a Reaver on my tail.
I'll take that. Kill
I
assist,
got it.
baby.
I got it.
Awesome.
Let's cry havoc and release those dogs of war, shall we?
Have that, you bastard! Vanguard! Oh, yeah.
Another Reaver kill.
I'm red.
Take out the shield generators. Lovely, lovely infantry people.
Almost got you then, Miss Wolf. It would have been an accident, soldier.
Ah, bollocks.
Hey, I think I just dodged
something nasty in the base.
I just dodged one of them missiles, numpty, and where? I didn't even mean to.
Yeah, it happened just now. Wasted a missile. Not fun.
Let me know where you see the
lot,
ground
Alex.
infantry lads in that base, and I'll absolutely pummel them. Because I can't tell.
Shit.
See, that's why you need laser marker or something.
Yeah.
Cheers, Chompy, you legend.
Going back to rearmed.
Alright, let's push.
Battle rank 11.
Here. Lead the way.
So, in conclusion, let's answer the question. Is PlanetSide 2 pure? Well, it is absolutely 100 million% pure if you are social. Now, that might sound a bit strange, but if you are the type of person who, for whatever reason, does not want to take part in the social aspects of PlanetSide 2, so the large-scale operations, loads of people in TeamSpeak, everybody working together, you know, people listening to a person who's effectively a guild leader, so like a platoon leader or an outfit leader. If that is not something that interests you, or you simply do not like, then you will not really have the best time in PlanetSide 2. Sure, you could play the game as a solo player, and that's fine, but you're never really going to experience what PlanetSide 2 has, you know, what it's been designed to be. And this game is unrivaled in terms of scale. There are thousands of players fighting each other, loads of coordination, and it literally is a sight. When you see PlanetSide 2 in full swing, it's one of these moments to me where it's like an advancement of gaming. You look at this and you're like, I cannot believe there are this many people playing this game at this one time on this same server. It's a spectacle, and for me, that makes this game is really up there with what I'm honestly going to say is going to be my game of the year. It's going to take something quite special to beat this, because I have never experienced this at all. You know, I played PlanetSide 1, and yeah, that was fine, but it was nowhere near the size of PlanetSide 2, and PlanetSide 2 is massive. Like, it's really massive. The word massive sums the game up. If you are okay with joining an outfit, if you're okay with kind of being told what to do at points, if you are okay with working together in a team, and you've got a computer which is fast enough to run the game, because it is quite demanding, then PlanetSide 2, you really need to give it a go, because it will open your eyes up. You will be like, I cannot believe this is happening. It's crazy. I mean, it'll just blow your socks off. It really is something which has never really been done before. Okay, there have been other titles and other games which have tried to do this, you know, games like Mag I think that was on the PlayStation 3, and as I say, PlanetSide 1, but they never really managed it. But PlanetSide 2 has managed it. Now, that's not saying the game's not been without its issues. When it originally launched, for a few days, and even quite recently, going as far back as yesterday, there have been server issues. Now, this isn't really good, because this means you've got a problem. You know, new players are going to turn up to the game, and the game they can't play. So they're like, well, forget this, I'll go and play something else. And this is kind of amplified by the fact it's free to play. Also, with PlanetSide 2, it's sort of... how can I explain this? It's not very friendly to new players. I think that's the tutorial system in the game is very, very basic, and this is a reason why I've been working on tutorials of myself, on my own even. I've got the engineer guide, and I'm also working on a heavy guide, because there's nothing there for the new player. There's a very basic introduction, and that really doesn't tell you what's going on, and it throws you straight into a fight, and you just die, and then you're like, well, I don't know what's going on. But as far as the game goes, and the potential I see in this game is absolutely massive. It's on the track to greatness. I really think it is. This, as I've said, is at this moment in time, this is my game of the year, and this has been a game I've kind of always wanted in the back of my mind, but didn't realise how good it could be until PlanetSide 2 came along. So in answer to the question, is it pure? It's absolutely 100% pure if you play the game as it's designed to be played. That is in a large outfit with loads of people, everybody in TeamSpeak, everybody having a laugh, listening to orders, completing objectives. Because if you're on your own, you're never going to experience that, and the game won't really seem that good to you, although it will still give you the spectacle of a massive battle, because that's basically what PlanetSide 2 is. So this has been a really detailed Is It Pure, guys, and in fact I think this is the most detailed Is It Pure we have ever done. Thumbs up the video, favourite the video, like the video, send it to everybody. I've put a lot of effort into this, and it'd be great if you guys could leave me some feedback, maybe. But please comment on the video. Give me your, you know, what you think PlanetSide 2, you know, how it's the impact the game's had on you. Do you think it's pure? Do you think it's rancid, which means it's bad? Pure obviously means it's good. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble now, so I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed this, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Toodaloo.